You are now witnessing the 24th interview on the In This Corner podcast. Yes, I said it. 24th interview. You already know who it is. I'm your host, the legend Todd Finney himself. In the building with me, I got a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back professional boxer Timothy Mayhem Moten. Timothy, how you doing?
How's it going, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Me as well, bro. I'm blessed, man. It's fight day. It's
All
fight
right.
day.
All right. All right, before we get into it, man, I just want to thank you, for coming back for the second time, man. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I like it. I love it. I appreciate you reaching out to me. Like I said, we need y'all just as much as you guys need the fighter. So I appreciate it.
All right, facts. All right, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and hot right into it. So our last interview, I know, like when I interviewed, that was the week of your fight for the Combat League. Like, tell us about that fight.
So TCL, man, the Team Combat League is a really, really nice concept. I like it. Um, and I would definitely do it again. Except for it's a stretch when you don't live in the city that the team takes place in. It's kind of a strain on if you got a family or you got jobs and you still got stuff back at home. But for the time that I was able to break away and the time that I was able to commit to Team Combat League, Coach Herman Caicedo, the guys down on Team Miami. Man, it was wonderful, man. I couldn't. It was an experience that I wouldn't trade for nothing. More importantly, I got to train and spar with top level guys. So that's something that you definitely can put into the bank and that can help you progress. So nothing but a blessing, the whole experience. And I got to fight. A lot of guys get in Team Combat League and get on the team and they never get to see the ring. We had guys that was on a team that were backups that never got to get in the ring. So for me to be able to be for my ability to be good enough for Coach Herman to trust me to get in there and perform for the team. I'm thankful for that, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
All right, that's good to hear. And I know you were supposed to, fight today, but unfortunately, your fight got postponed. So, what could be possibly the new date that you could be looking at?
So I know already the promoter that I work with, Lee Kuiper, Dreams Realized Promotions. He's talking about doing another fight November, December. Which is a good turnaround, especially, September, looking at November, December for the next show. Um, and I think it'll be strictly Dreams Realized Promotions, but this show that I was supposed to fight on this Saturday was Future Promotions, and then co-promoted with and by Dreams Realized Promotions. So I think the next show should be November, December-ish. And it should be at another nice venue, so it's gonna be fun.
Okay. Is it gonna be the same opponent, or are you gonna be possibly looking at a different opponent?
Yeah, I think that it's 90% gonna be the same guy. Because we had everything set except for getting, I guess maybe like his visa or something like that, a work visa. I'm not really sure about the logistics of it, but it was something that could have been, we could have taken care of before, but we didn't. So it was something minuscule. But yeah, I want the same guy. Um, And if somebody else pops up or if an opportunity pops up before then, we jumping on it. But as of right now, it's looking like it's going to be Sergio Castro, November, December-ish, main event, 8-round fight.
Okay, like I was looking up his record, on box right. I see he's like 5 win with like 5 KOs. So
Yeah.
is this like when you fight him, like are you expecting like a toe to toe war, or are you gonna like go in there and just be smart and like go with your game plan, or like with his record, are you expecting to go in there with like a toe to toe war?
Man, I don't, the way I come out and the way that, I think for him, he's going to come out and try to have a toe war with me because I don't think I don't think he's faster than me. I don't think that his feet are fast. I don't fast as mine. Um, and I'm gonna come out and do what we plan to do. We plan to make it an easy night, and if he's willing to get out of there, we're gonna get him out of there. But um, It usually takes me about we'll make a game plan, but it takes about 15, 20 seconds before you figure out what's really gonna happen. It's like
Yeah.
a team combat league. I didn't know. I knew it was gonna start fast, but I didn't know how fast it was gonna start till you get in there. So I'm ready for whatever he brings. I'm gonna find the answer to it and try to finish it in a nice fashion.
Okay. All right. And I know you was down in Florida, training like for the combat league. Like for your training camp that you have now, like did you implement anything from your training, in Florida into this training camp, or did you like do a totally different training?
No, I kind of keep the same thing, except for every time I do go down to Florida or I go to a camp, I use my notepad and my phone, and I take down little things that we do, different exercises that we do. Because actually, the unique thing with me in Team Combat League is I was in Team Combat League, and I got picked up to fight on the Miami Assassins. And I was there for 2 months training with Coach Herman, sparring, and Coach Herman's gym is a highway for all types of top prospects, Cubans, Colombians, guys coming from across the ocean. It's a highway for these guys from the smallest weight classes to the top. You never know who's gonna pop in. You could be in the gym one day and Big Baby Miller will pop in, and Shannon Briggs will pop in, and I got the chance to spar with I did some rounds with Nestor, uh, big Nestor, who was the heavyweight on the Miami Assassins, and Gustavo. He was the heavyweight on the Assassins. Um, but one guy that came in the gym was Brandon Moore. He just fought Richard Torres. So
Mm.
Brandon Moore came into the gym when we was getting ready for the Las Vegas Hustle, and me and Brandon Moore did. I think we did 2 or 3 rounds at the gym. He did like 2 or 3 rounds with me, but then he did more rounds with other guys. But Brandon Moore picked me up and asked me right before I got ready to come home from Miami. Um, he asked me to come to his camp, so I was able to spar with like the heavyweight. I was able to spar with Nestor, with Gustavo. I was able to put in, work with these guys, and then go to Brandon Moore's camp, they run their camp completely different. So I was able to take a couple things that they did on their morning workouts and stuff like that, put it in my notepad and add to it. So I would say every one of my camps pretty much they stay the same, but I do always I typically add maybe one or two different things in there that I think would help me, benefit me for the fight. So yeah, my camps can it the basis stays the same, but it changes depending on if I find something else that works better for me or not.
Got you. All right. And everybody spars differently. Like so, like what's the most amount of rounds that you spar, and was it like with one fighter or was it with like multiple fighters?
Down in camp in Miami.
Or anywhere, like the most you spar, like any
Well,
training camp.
well, I usually spar twice a week. I try to spar twice a week, early part of the week, later part of the week. Um, when I don't have a fight date, I go to once a week. It may be on a Friday or a Saturday or something. Um, but it also depends too. Like when I was in camp with Brandon Moore, I was the only guy that he had there. That was I was the main sparring partner for most of the rounds. But he also had Brandon Glanton come in. Brandon Glanton stopped in the gym down there. He also had a kid who was like 6'4", who was a good filler. He did 10 rounds of sparring, but he would do 4 or 5 rounds with me, and then somebody else would come in. So I get a good 5 or 6 rounds with a top quality guy, 5 or 6 rounds with the guy, the Olympian from France. I would do 4 or 5 rounds with Gustavo, 3 or 4 rounds with Nestor. Nothing really super heavy because we're all in camp. But when it's focused on me back at home, I try to do the rounds that I'm gonna fight plus two. So if I'm fighting an 8 rounder, I want to be by the end of camp able to do 10 rounds of good sparring with 2 or 3 different sparring partners rotating in. And that's what I picked up on when I was in camp with, all of them guys, Ortiz, Joshua,
Mm.
the Team Combat League, You keep two or three different guys, you rotate them in, and they're fresh. You're not fresh, but you have to be able to still perform, at top quality to be able to keep this guy from hurting you. So when I'm
Mm.
home, I'm the main guy, but when I'm at other camps, 4 or 5 rounds here and there, which are really good, hard, solid rounds still, it's top quality rounds. So, uh, but nothing extreme, man. I ain't sparring 100 rounds like James Toney.
Okay. All right. All right.
Nothing
All right.
extreme.
Okay, cool. Uh, so I watched your recent interview that you did. You said you worked at Gordon Foods, and
Yeah,
that job is like it's very physical, demanding work. So
yeah.
do you have like any coworkers that like maybe ask you could they come watch you at the gym, or maybe even ask you to work out with you at the gym?
They do, man. I get a lot of guys that ask me to want to work out. Guys that want to come to the gym. Um, and even guys that want me to train them. And at first, I would take everything. If a guy wanted to come train me, come on, show up to the gym. If a guy wanted me to train them, come on, be at the gym at this time and I'll train you. But my pops, he would tell me, he reels me back in. He's like, hey, listen, it's good to train them, but you got to focus on you.
Mm,
You got a family, you got your job you have to work, and the time that you do have to be training needs to be focused on you if you want to still keep doing this. So
mm,
eventually, I do want to be a guy who trains and works out with everybody and has a good time at the gym. But right now, I'm just really focusing on myself when I'm outside of the workplace and the family, and just so I can push to see, this is coming up on another sprint. I always
right.
tell people that I knew my career was gonna work in different levels. It was gonna
Mm,
be in different. You have to time it just right. You got to hit them sprints just right, and we coming
right.
up on another sprint. So I want to be ready. I want to be even more ready than I've ever been when I step in the ring this next time. So
All right.
they asked, but right now it's focusing on mayhem.
Okay. All right. All right. That's understandable. Salute to your pops. And, that was going to be my next question about your pops. I'm from the first interview. You told me y'all were like the amateurs together and everything.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, since you're a pro fighter now, was there ever any talks of like your father being your trainer?
So my pops is and always will be a part of the team.
Mm,
And he is one of my trainers.
okay.
So the way that I break it down is I have Coach Josh Sachs. He works over at Derby City, and that's a gym that I go to. And he's more along. We got the basic of the boxing classes, the fundamentals, um, boxing cardio, a good workout. Then I go to my dad. Me and my dad do my road work, my conditioning, just general fitness. Me and my pops go over some different boxing things that he may have watched. My dad's a long time uh combat sports minded man. So he did martial arts.
Mm,
He did kung fu back in the 80s when kung fu was
oh,
was the rave, when everybody was in a kung fu gym somewhere, a dojo.
right. Wow.
So my pops did, he did that. He also boxed. He had an amateur career. He beat one time he beat a junior Olympic national champion. Me and him was the first father son Golden Glove team to win
Mm,
it the same year from Indianapolis. We went to Indianapolis and me and him won the Golden Gloves together, like the same night, open night. We both won it together. So um, he's definitely
wow.
been in boxing. He understands what discipline it takes and how to get there. But we also add, just like when I went down to Coach Herman, my dad's not opposed to um learning and not opposed to us going somewhere to learn more, which
Okay.
is why the relationship between me and my pops works so well. I think a lot of father son teams, that the reason that they don't flourish or they don't make it is because the father may think that he knows everything and he knows all that's best, and sometimes he doesn't. There's guys out there that's been in the game, that's been performing at the top level, that's had fighters at the top level, that could offer us some type of advice or some type of something that could help us out or maneuver. And my dad is just like me and I'm just like him as far as having an open mind and being able to hear and listen to people. And so that's he'll always be a part of the team.
Okay.
So he's not the only trainer I go to, but he's definitely a factor as far as being in there. and a word to me in the corner. You know, he can talk to me in the corner differently than anybody else can. So,
Okay.
um, yeah,
All right.
he's definitely a vein, a main vein.
All right. All right. Yeah. Now that leads to my next question. Speaking of father son collabos, duos, and boxing, we got a lot, man. We got,
Yeah,
we got Brian Norman Sr., Jr., we got Boots and Bozy. We got Porter and Kenny Porter. So many father son, duos and boxing. Like, is there any particular that's your favorite? Any particular favorite father son duo that you really like?
Porter and Sean Porter,
Okay.
Sean Porter and
Okay.
Kenny Porter.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, man, I've watched. I tell everybody, you know, even still today, I see myself as the heavyweight Sean Porter.
Okay.
I try to be at least the heavyweight
Okay.
Sean Porter.
Right.
I've watched again. I was an amateur. I was a young cat, but I really dove into boxing. I wasn't in a like in Mexico when they start the kids from 5 fighting. I started at 12, which is still pretty young, and I dove into it like these kids dive into football and basketball. Like I dove into boxing. So I remember Sean Porter, and I remember getting the USA Boxing. If anybody knows or they've been around amateur boxing, they know that USA Boxing used to send out the magazines. If you was an amateur fighter and you was registered in the United States, they would send out magazines every month, or yeah, it's like every month or every quarter or something, and it would have the rankings in it. It would have the rankings of the. I wish they would bring it back. They would have the rankings of the men's heavyweight division. You know, they would have it all in there. They would even do like the under 19 and the youth, like the JOs. They would
Uh,
go all the way to the JOs, is what we called it then, not the youth, but it was called the JOs, the under 19, and the men's division. And I remember seeing Sean Porter's name up there. I remember seeing Luis Arias. He used to be a monster in the amateurs. You know, I remember seeing all of these guys
okay.
at 165. Sean Porter used to fight at 165.
Hmm. Wow.
It went down all the way to 47. So, but
Wow.
definitely, I've been watching Kenny Porter and Sean Porter since the amateur days. So that's definitely a father son team they're my favorite for by far.
All right, cool. Yeah, and like I said, I know I mentioned in the first interview, I was there at Porter's, debut fight. I met him. I met him and Kenny Porter at an amateur event. So
Yeah,
good guys, man, for
that's
sure.
what's up. You was at his debut. He was a different fighter early on, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he was definitely, yeah, he's a problem, man. Like two-time champion. So that who shout
Yeah,
out to the Porters, man, for sure.
yeah. Shout out to the Porters, man.
My next question, Richard Torres, you mentioned earlier that you was working with Brandon Moore. He
Mhm.
fought Richard Torres and he came up short. Like when you watched that fight, when you seen it, like did that make you want to kind of like get some revenge for Moore and try to get go against Richard Torres?
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, that it. So I it was mixed emotions about the fight, man. I knew my guy Brandon. We knew what it was. We knew what he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
We knew what he had to what he had to how he had to execute. You know, he knew he had to execute. He knew that Richard Torres was coming. He knew he was gonna come for him. Uh, and we had been working on the very shot that he had slipped up and got caught with. We had been working on him getting away from that. So the game plan literally before he got overwhelmed, the game plan was literally going into to the right direction. So I just think that Richard Torres has a little bit more experience, and he just caught him. It's heavyweight boxing. He
Mm-hmm.
caught him. You know, Brandon
Yeah,
Moore could have caught him just the same well as he caught uh Brandon. You know, Brandon could have
right,
caught Richard just like Richard caught him, but
right.
it just wasn't his time and day. And listen, if they call and and the board is right and everything's right, hell yeah, I take that fight
All right,
most definitely.
all right. All right, so that leads to my next question. Richard Torres, Joey DeVica is happening in 2 weeks. Joey DeVica got the experience tour. He's that come forward with the power.
Yeah.
Who you taking in that fight?
Man, I gotta stay with my guy, man. I gotta
Okay.
be man. I've been talking and being friends with Joey D for since 2009. So, uh, And not a lot of people know, man. Joey D, he really got the sauce, man. He can. It depends on what Joey D shows up, man. Like I said, he took Frank Sanchez the distance. He took Bryant Jennings the distance. Amir
Mm,
Mansour the distance.
mm,
He went the distance with uh, Charles Martin. You know
mm,
what I mean? Like he's tested and he's approved, and he also beat guys that were coming up. Natu Vicenia, the big Samoan heavyweight that was
mm,
undefeated when he fought him, he dropped him. So and he showed that he's got one punch power, and he's
mm,
slick. He's slick and he knows what he's doing. This is not you're not getting there with you're not Richard Torres isn't getting there. I think it's a great fight for Richard Torres, and I think it's a great fight for Joey because I think Top Rank is trying to get him somebody that can test him a little bit more. Joey D, from my knowledge, has never been stopped. And from my knowledge, Joey D he's slick. He can catch you.
mm.
And he's got one punch knockout. He's got one punch stopping power. So if you
Facts.
slip up and he catches you, he's proven that it can be lights out. So
Mm,
man, it's a 50-50 fight, man, because
yeah.
Richard Torres is young, Richard Torres is strong, he's hungry, he's aggressive, and he wants to get the knockout. So in the early parts of the fight, I'm gonna say it's a 50-50 fight. But the later the fight goes on, the more you let Joey get settled, the slower the fight gets. It's gonna start favoring in Joey D. So it just depends on whose game plan gets put into effect better.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm rooting for Joey D. They used to call him the Polish Thunder, man.
All right.
I'm rooting for Joey D, the tank, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I've seen Joey fight live, and he's definitely a skillful guy. You know, I got a
Definitely.
lot of people may look at him and say he don't got the frame or whatever, but he's definitely
Man,
skillful. He's
man,
skillful, man.
he's definitely skillful, man. He's fought
And,
most of the heavyweights you can think. He was in camp with Klitschko.
mm,
He was in
yeah,
camp with Klitschko. He was in camp with AJ.
yeah,
He sparred. He's fought. Man, every heavyweight, it don't matter, man. He's definitely he's a throwback Philadelphia heavyweight who can fight. He's skillful, man. He
facts,
definitely
facts.
gets he definitely gets my respect, man. Salute, Big Joey D.
Facts, facts. Salute to Joey. And like, so I saw it in the recent interview you did. You said, like you still selling tickets, like so. Like I know you spar with Anthony Joshua. You know, you've been in the combat league. You main event in your hometown. So like, what are some things that you could possibly do to like catch the eye like a big time promoter? And if you do, who would you like to sign with?
Man, from what I'm knowing, like it just depends. Like I think that I have to. From what I've heard different things from different people. Again, like I'm maneuvering this thing. I'm in the ocean that on my boat with my team, and it's dark. We don't know where we're going. This is new land for us. So to me, for the longest, I thought that maybe if I fought the guys that these bigger promoters are giving their guys, then I'll be able, and I'm beating the same guys, I'll be able to, possibly get an opportunity or a contract or something. And it hasn't happened yet. So then that's when the camps came in. I'm thinking, all right, maybe if I get into a couple camps and make a couple relationships that I could possibly again, land a contract, land somewhere that's gonna pay some decent money, give me a chance, believe in me, and it still hasn't happened yet. So, uh, I heard. I'm always listening. I'm a sponge. I soak up. I talk to older vets, older
Mm,
former fighters and contenders. And when in doubt, they say you always got your home base, your home front. You build yourself at home. You keep building yourself at home. You never get too good to sell tickets. You
yeah.
never get too good to sell tickets. And I'm definitely grounded that way. I've never been
Uh,
You got me?
yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, hold on. Can't hear you. Let me see.
If you can't hear it, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you good. You good.
Okay, my bad. Sorry about
No,
that.
you good. You good.
Uh so yeah, so I haven't gotten that look yet. And I just think that it just takes time. Everybody's mission, everybody's death got me?
Yeah, yeah. You good? You good? Yeah, you
Okay.
cut out for it. You
But
cut out for
yeah,
a second, but you're good now.
oh, okay, my bad.
You fine, man.
So, but yeah, everybody's story, everybody's journey is different, you know. So,
That's
I just keep pushing away. I just keep pushing away. I figure if you keep racking up the W's, eventually they're gonna want to test it.
right.
Somebody's gonna want to test to see if you the real deal. And my thing is when you get that call, you gotta be ready to
Mm,
perform. You gotta be ready to to fight. You gotta be ready to perform because a lot of guys get to the top and they get blown out the water bad,
right,
and
right.
they never get asked to come back. So
Mm,
that's why I go to the camps. That's why I did Team Combat League. That's why I went to the camps with Joshua Ortiz. I get sparring when I can. I'll drive wherever I gotta go to get to work. So when I do get that opportunity, I'm more than ready. So
okay.
I know the time will come. I know it'll come eventually. You just got to keep racking up these W's, man.
Right, right. All right. So, who is one heavyweight that you would really like to test yourself against?
Oh man, I ain't really I don't really have no call outs right now.
Okay. All
Anybody
right.
that they willing to get, anybody that they willing to, you know what I mean? Like anybody they willing to give me, anybody they willing to say that, hey, you wanna as long as I feel like it's in the same realm, I don't wanna
Okay.
being 100%, transparent with you, if you get offered a Dylan White fight, it's gonna come with some digits and some commas. So I ain't gonna never turn down nothing like that.
Facts, facts.
But yeah, I mean anybody, any opportunity, man. If they willing to give me an opportunity and it looks like something that's a win-win for me. Because at this point, um, I'm not getting any. I don't have any opportunities on the table. So
Okay.
anybody,
All right.
any look. Why not? Let's make it. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to fight. So
Right. Facts,
let's make it
facts.
happen.
All right. All right. Yeah. So I recently interviewed and Owen with the hat back. And I understand he has a gym out in Kentucky. Like, have you ever worked with
Yeah.
Owen Beck or been to his gym?
No, I spoke with him, and my last trainer, he actually he wanted me to go and get some sparring rounds, get some rounds in with Owen Beck, but
Okay.
we never could make it happen. But I've seen Owen Beck at some amateur shows.
Okay.
One of my dad's fighters actually fought one of Owen Beck's fighters in the Tri-State Golden Gloves. So I
Okay.
seen Owen Beck there. So he's got a gym. It's called Hands of Fire, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Owen from that, from
Okay.
seeing him as a coach, and then I learned he was a fighter that was signed with Don King, and
Yeah.
I found all of that later. But no, I never got to spar with Owen Deck or nothing like that.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Yeah. Salute to Owen Beck. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Yeah, so the heavyweight division, Wilder, he was American champ, for years. He's kind of like pretty much on his way out the door. A lot of people were saying Jared Anderson could probably be like the next best thing in America, but we just seen, he was just recently stopped. So, like, in your professional opinion, like, what do you see the American heavyweight scene in, let's say, like 3 years, 5 years?
Man, first of all, I don't know why we not talking about Michael Hunter.
Okay, okay,
Listen,
all right,
this goes back, like I said, this goes back way, way back, right?
okay,
Michael Hunter has been the heavyweight
okay,
in the United States
right,
since 2006. Since I first started fighting amateur,
all right,
2006. That man
mm,
was stopping everybody in the United
mm,
States. It never was a disputing who was going to be the super heavyweight
mm,
stand in until Cam F. Awesome came around. And
okay,
then they were teeter-tottering between one would be 201 and one would be super heavyweight. But I think Michael Hunter is definitely the guy in the United States right now leading the pack.
okay,
Um, I feel like he's a good one of the top five carrying. If we had a starting
okay,
five, he's in that starting five. I
all
feel
right,
like Andy Ruiz is in that starting five.
okay,
I feel like Big Baby Miller is in that starting five.
all
I
right,
feel like who else? I can't think off the top of the head right now. Those are the top three.
okay,
Wilder, of course, until Wilder hangs up the gloves, he'll always be in the starting five of the
right,
tops.
right.
Um, Yeah, so I mean, and right now it's to be on that Team USA. If we had a Team USA for professional boxers, um,
He might have somebody that's trying to call him, but this happens a lot, when I do the interview. So, but I'm still here. If you can hear me, just come out and come back in. Yeah, he might have a call or a connection issue or something. I'm gonna just message him. Sometimes this happens when we do the interview. So yeah, but Timothy Mayhem Moten's been dropping jewels so far. He was supposed to fight tonight in Kentucky as a main event, but like he said, he mentioned his opponent had like a visa issue or something like that. So Timothy Mayhem Moten will be out there tonight commentating. I'm getting back here. All right, you back?
my bad, man. Sorry
No, you
about
fine,
that.
man. You fine. I know it happens. It happens.
So I feel like that Team USA, whether it be 10, 11 guys on the team in total, top 15. I feel
Mm,
like it's opening up right now. I feel like this is when everything is starting to move and transition into the next era of how stuff's gonna be.
okay.
And personally, for me, a personal goal for mine is just to be in the mix.
Okay.
Uh, you know
All
how
right.
that you have guys in the heavyweight division that are in the mix, that
Mm,
are consistently fighting on cards at the top cards. Whether I be signed with one promoter, whether I be a guy who is picked up by multiple promoters to fight on the card. You
mm,
know, right now my goals are to be in the mix. Whether
okay.
it be coming over here to top rank to fight
Mm,
any of the other guys, and then turn around and coming over to PBC, and then going to Matchroom, and then Matchroom wants to pick me up, or then PBC wants to pick me up. I feel like that's what it's coming into, and I feel like that's where a lot of guys fall off, is because they don't understand how boxing has to go through different types of transitions and era. They don't hang on. They don't keep training. They don't keep getting
facts.
them W's. And I feel
Right.
like for me, right now, I just have to stay current. I got to keep racking up W's, and I just can't stop. I got to stay consistent. So, uh,
Okay.
any opportunity come my way, I'm definitely itching at the chance to get in the mix.
All right. For sure. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Michael Hunter fought Usyk too, right?
Yeah, he fought Usyk. He
Got
fought
Usyk,
Usyk
right?
as a cruiserweight, man, and then and
Okay. The
then
cruiserweight.
it was a decision. It wasn't
Right.
Usyk didn't stop him. It wasn't
Right.
no.
Right.
That man Michael's got a style that's like his father's, man. Like real long arms,
Mm,
can catch you with weird looping shots and good
mm,
counters, and
mm.
he's been that man for a long time as far as in the United States. He's just waiting to get his just dues.
All right. Yeah. So I know you sparred. I know you in the first interview you said you sparred with Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
So I think I know what your answer is going to be. I know him and Anthony Joshua and Dubai's getting ready to fight. So I'm just going to jump into the December fight. We got Tyson Fury, Usyk in the rematch. Undisputed. Who do you like in that fight?
I think Usyk gonna do it again.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Usyk's gonna do it again.
All right.
I don't think Tyson Fury's guy. I think Tyson Fury he's a giant unit, and once you figure out how to stay away from his like just his bigness, just how big he is. If when you figure
Mm,
out how to get around that, get your offense off, and beat him like Usyk did, I think that it's all you can do is just if he don't go out and try to stop Usyk, it's gonna be a long night for him.
right.
It's gonna be
Okay.
a long night. I got Usyk.
Usyk. Okay. All right.
Who you
All
got?
right. So uh I'll probably go with Usyk as well, but I
Yeah.
think I'm just willing to see if Ferry can make any adjustments. But I got Usyk as well.
Yeah, maybe Fury does make adjustments. I don't know.
Right.
He could be, but right now I think my mind is leaning towards Usyk.
All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So do you think you would get an opportunity to possibly work or spar with AJ again? Do any kind of work with AJ again?
Man, if they ever found somebody who they needed, they go off of getting camps. They go off the dimensions of a fighter. So I know that I've seen that AJ's used, Jeremiah, the Dreamland. You know what I'm talking about? Jeremiah,
Yeah,
Milton.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
used Jeremiah Milton a few times,
Mhm.
and he's used Peter Kadiru from Germany a few times.
Okay,
And they typically, when they find you and they like the sparring that you do, and you match the dimensions, those guys match the dimensions of a lot of heavyweights. They're all six
right,
five, six
right,
five and
right.
a half,
Mhm.
6'3". Um, they all match those dimensions, so they can get picked up for multiple camps because that's what the heavyweight division is. With
Okay,
me, I'm really, me and Andy Ruiz are really only guys that are really around that size. You know what I mean?
okay.
So
Right, right.
if they ever do have to fight another shorter heavyweight, then they don't. I've been told from their team definitely and AJ that they definitely would love to have me back in camp, but uh, I don't see him fighting nobody around my size anytime soon, unless it's Andy Ruiz and him three.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, last one. I'll go ahead and just add this as the last question. Then we get in the comment section. We close it out. Anthony Joshua, Danny Dubois. 2 weeks. Who you taking?
It's for a title, right?
Yeah, I think it's for the titles. Yeah.
IBF, right? It's for the
Yeah.
IBF.
Yeah.
Can I get a 3-time?
All right. All right. All right.
Joshua gonna do it, man. I think
Okay.
Joshua's the big. He's got the answer for the big men, and I
Right.
think that they said that Dubois uh did this and that to Joshua and sparring. Nah,
Right.
I don't see that happening, man. I think that yeah, I think that Joshua's got the key to the big man. He knows how to. He beat the big man of big man when he beat Klitschko. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he just got that. Look at how he did in Ngannou, and these are all big guys. Look at what he did to
Right.
Charles Martin. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He's got that he's got the antidote for
Right.
the big man problem. So,
Right.
and Dubois is a big guy. I don't see Dubois doing much more different than what anybody else would have done
All right.
as far as like those other big men that Joshua knocked Spark out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Anthony Joshua too. So we got
Yeah.
a guy in here, so I'm gonna just read these comments. A guy, Scotty's in the building. He said, great.
Scotty.
Yeah, he said, great to see you back on In This Corner, Tim. Thank you both, man. Salute to you, Scotty. We appreciate
Salute,
you.
Scott.
Yeah, for sure. And then he said Porter beat Usyk in the amateurs. He's a classy guy.
He
Yeah,
did. He did.
yeah.
Porter did beat Usyk in the amateurs. Porter also fought. He fought again in 165.
Mhm.
He was a beast, man. He was a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah, and like we was talking off camera about Fernando. If I'm not mistaken, I think Porter could have fought Fernando in the amateurs. If I'm
I
not
think he
mistaken,
did. Yeah, Porter
yeah,
fought everybody in the amateurs. Porter
yeah,
Porter was everywhere.
yeah. He fought everybody in the pros too. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So I know you'll be out at the fight tonight commentating, right?
Yeah, I'll commentate a little bit, but I'll be mainly focusing on the guys my dad's got on the card and talking to everybody, shaking. In the words of my old coach, rest in peace, Abdul Jarvis, he said, shaking hands and kissing babies.
All right. All right. Yeah. All right. So is there any final things you want to say before we close it out?
Man, I appreciate everybody for continuing to follow my journey, man. I appreciate you, Ty. I appreciate all the guys that asked me to do different podcasts, and that this is what keeps certain fighters alive that are in the wasteland. I tell people I'm in the wasteland right now, just collecting medals and building my armor, so when I get a
Right.
chance to go fight at the Coliseum, I'm prepared and ready. So
All right.
I appreciate you guys keeping in touch with me, and onward and upward. We full steam ahead. I ain't stopping until I can't go no more.
Facts, facts. I hope you get a date soon. I hope you get a date soon, and you and your opponent, y'all can show up and show out. Get the fans a good fight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna show out, show out. I don't know what he gonna do, but I'm
Uh,
coming.
uh,
I'm coming to crack.
all right, facts, facts. All right, like I said, man, appreciate you taking your time. I know you're going out to the fight tonight. Giving
Yeah.
your social media.
Hey, everybody, follow me at _mayhem Moten. And get me on Facebook at Timothy Moten, TikTok, Mayhem Moten. Everything is gonna be Timothy Moten or Timothy Mayhem Moten. You can find me on either, and YouTube too, Timothy Moten, Mayhem Moten. So
All right. All right,
check it
man.
out,
We
follow me,
appreciate you.
guys. All right, bro.
Okay.
Thanks, Ty.
All right, man. Appreciate you. And you guys, y'all just witnessed, the 24th interview on the English Corner podcast. On that note, we out. Peace.